Okay, family, thank you so much for joining me once again on another solid episode. If you're already here, hit the like button for me. Or camera, are we good? They sound too good. Are you sure? Beautiful. Anyway, let's move forward. I asked the question because we recorded the first session of this particular video, and after the recording, we got to realize that the sound is missing. So I have to re-record it again. That's why I'm asking the question. So don't be bothered. Anyway, that should even touch you to hit the like button for us, okay? And subscribe. Now, the president of Ghana answer some serious questions at Chatham House. He went to Chatham House. They had a lot of conversation, but one of the things that he said, which we need to talk about, is his relation. You know, recently Ghana had a defense agreement with the EU, European Union, and it became a whole conversation on the Pan-African chart. That why would Ghana sign this kind of agreement and blah, 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 a whole lot of conversation. I came live multiple times, you know, we discussed and talk about this, but the president, was giving a question, and this question has to do particularly with these issues like this. And he linked the conversation to the Sahel, all right, the insecurity in the Sahel, and why Ghana decided to partner with France, United States, EU, for example, and others. So without wasting much time, let's move forward and listen to the president. And he even spoke about the Accra Initiative, and he left a big hole in the middle of the conversation. So we are going to fill that gap also, all right? He did, I believe because of time, he did not go into the conversation to say much about why Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, they left the Accra Initiative, but well, we are going to fill that gap here, all right? So listen to the president.
When we were chatting, you said that the economy, not surprisingly, is one of the main things on your mind. But you were also talking in your remarks just now about security and security in Western Africa. And Ghana has recently signed a defense security deal with the European Union. I was wondering what you thought the European Union and the UK could do to help the question of security in Western Africa.
Actually, the partnership we signed just formalizes a very excellent cooperation that we've had with the European Union and other countries. As you know, the Sahel region of West Africa has become the epicenter of terrorist activity. And 3 of our neighbors, which are the Sahelian nations, are bearing the full brunt of terrorist activity. The situation is particularly difficult in Mali, but it also affects Burkina Faso and Niger. We had previously a framework for cooperation in the fight against terrorism, which was called the Accra Initiative. Unfortunately, with the souring of relations between the Sahelian states and the ECOWAS, which led to the formation of the Alliance of Sahelian States, the Accra Initiative has virtually been abandoned. And so what I've done since I became president was to seek new pathways and build new bridges for cooperation between ECOWAS and the AES states, because after all, terrorism is not a threat to only one nation, it's a threat to all of us. And so we need to work together. It moves
right across borders.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it needs international cooperation to deal with it. And so for Ghana, our attitude has been to cooperate with everybody who is interested in the fight against terrorism. So we have relations with the United Kingdom. We share intelligence in terms of terrorism. We do joint exercises, training programs with the UK, with Germany, with France, with the United States. Yeah, and I think that's the way to go.
So if we should hear him clearly, it is because of the original framework, which is the Accra Initiative, because it has been abandoned. And he didn't specify the reason why he's been abandoned. This is he made this comment a couple of times in most of his speech. Anytime he's referring to the Accra Initiative, that the Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, the Sahel, they left the Accra Initiative, and because of that, Ghana has resorted into championing a new path in dealing with counterterrorism. So they are willing to deal with anybody who want to assist in counterterrorism, if we should hear him clearly. So that is why the cooperation between Ghana and the EU came in. They had cooperation with the United States, and France also is involved and all that. So let's put that aside and talk about the Accra Initiative. Let's fill that particular gap in right there. We are trying to look at why the Sahel left and if the Accra Initiative was actually fair. Okay, that is what we are driving at. The Accra Initiative, was it fair? Was it even making sense in the beginning? You see, the Accra Initiative, many of you heard me spoke about it. This is a regional security body created. It was launched in 2017, established by the government of Ghana, Benin, Côte d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and then Togo. These 5 came together and formed this body called Accra Initiative. It is called Accra Initiative because it was launched in Accra, so it is called the Accra Initiative. The purpose is to counter terrorism, to prevent this activity of the T group from spilling over from the Sahel into the rest of the countries like Ghana and the rest of the countries around. That was the purpose. Later, some additional countries joined. Mali, Niger also joined. Now, when you look at it, Nigeria, on the other hand, is not a member of the Accra Initiative. Nigeria was there as observer. They want to just observe. They are not part as a full member of the Accra Initiative. The reason they did that, you will understand. Now, the purpose is that we should come together and fight against the T activities across our region. Along the line, I know many of you heard recently when the president of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, they were accusing some of the members, when you look at Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, of signing security pact or non-aggressive alliance with this T group. Now, the problem is this. The T was not making sense from the beginning. We are in a group to fight the people, to stand against the people. Then we have members of the group who are supposed to help us. So we fight it together, signing deal and signing non-aggressive pact with the people that we formed the group to stop. How does that work? Even to the point where, according to the speech of the leaders of the Sahel, they made it clear that some of them, they have back base in their country, and the people move from there to come and then, bite them here. So if that is the case, then they left. And before they left, Ghana has become the face of the Accra Initiative. Now, the president of the country, Akufo-Addo, then the former president, that's the former president, then went to the United States and practically was trying to speak about Burkina Faso. You heard the story, right? He was trying to collaborate with the United States so that they can, give him the authority or whatever, the support, so that they can push against the security mechanism that the Sahel is putting in place in respect to the Wagner and Russia and all that. And that practically became a whole conversation. So the Sahel, they pulled out of the Accra Initiative because of betrayal. Nigeria did not play hypocrisy like the rest of the countries. They were clean. All right, we will observe. Because the purpose of the group is we are going to combat the T activities in our regions. Now, Nigeria is not interested in combating the T activity. They are interested in negotiating and rehabilitating them. And so, therefore, they are on the watch list, just observing. This is the reason why Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso said, look, this thing is not going to help us. If all of us who can come together and fight it, fine. If we will not fight it, then we are leaving to fight it. So when the president put the conversation, I think this is multiple times. Last time also he spoke about it. If you leave it like that, it will look like the Sahel, they are just moving out of organizations. They move out of ECOWAS and they are trying to move out of African Union maybe, and they just move out of, no. Something led to the moving out. Every time, I wish the president should be filling that gap. So the Accra Initiative has been abandoned. And the president said in another speech also, where he said that since our brothers are not on the Accra Initiative platform, so that we can work together, then we need to champion a new path so that they can come through that path. Then we work together in line with counterterrorism. And that is why Ghana pull out a platform that the Sahel, Burkina Faso in particular, is working with the Ghana government. Our soldiers are working to make sure that we secure the border so that we don't have a spillover into our country. That is already there. And according to the president, Ghana moved forward to say that we are ready to cooperate with everybody that is interested in counterterrorism. That is why the EU, partnership came to play in the life of Ghana. At the end of the day, the question we want to ask is that is partnership with foreigners. Because honestly speaking, the European Union is not facing the tea activity in here in Africa. We are the one facing the thing. So why is it that always we need to be collaborating with these people out there? The reason why we are asking this question is because since from time memorial, we have been collaborating with the United States, France, European Union, and co. This collaboration with the West in terms of counter-terrorism. Has this solved the problem? That's the question. Because you see, something that you do to solve a problem and you are not able to solve the problem, when you continue on a path for long and you are not seeing the result needed, you change strategy. Why not leave the foreign partners to keep their partnership there, and then we face our problem here to solve it? Like Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they are doing. I think that is what the way to go. When the president said partnering with the EU is the way to go, I disagree somehow anyhow on this angle, because we have been on this path for long. We partner with the West for long. You understand? So let's focus on ourselves and partner with ourselves. Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, these three, when they realize that they're going from this direction is not going, they switch alliance to do what? To go to this direction. Because the same EU that you are partnering with, there's a problem with the EU when it comes to partnership in terms of counter-terrorism. The leader of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, even Ghana is aware of this, that there are certain weapons, ammunition that even if you have money to acquire to protect yourself, you are not going to get it. Excuses on human rights and whatever. Even in Nigeria, recently, their chief defense came on board and then spoke about it. That they wanted to purchase certain weapons as the army of Nigeria. They told them, the West told them that no, the way they are handling the T group, raise human rights concern, and therefore they cannot purchase this type of weapons. Now, when they go on the field and meet these guys on the field, the guys are holding more advanced of these machines that the military have been denied. So it raises a huge question. Who is supplying the people that we are fighting? Where are they getting the equipment and then the machines from? That's the question, because the machine is not falling from heaven. The reason why the Accra Initiative has failed and it looks like it cannot be repaired is because none of the leaders are ready to speak truth to each other or to their neighbors, to their colleagues. None of them. They are using diplomatic language other than facing the reality that, look, those of you standing in the pack with these people, stop it. This will not help us. We need to push against this. Because when some of you are negotiating and then you are keeping them in your country and they are going after your neighbors, you are in the same group trying to fight them, it's complete betrayal.